Alright, Warpugs, today we're checking out The Line is Back, Baby, and this is, of course, by Majorkill. Now, it was a lot of speculation on which Primarch would be the next back. I was saying it had to be either most likely it was going to be the Lion. The Imperium has an administrator, now it needs a general. An actual general. As far as who's next to come back, I'm hoping to God it isn't Russ. I think it should be Rogel. I honestly think it should be Rogel. Most likely it's going to be the Khan or another. I gotta say it's either the Khan or Rogel. Rogel because Rogel Dorn, he's going to fortify what's left of the Imperium. Or the Khan because GW just wants to play with my brain. Vulcan is, of course, another option, and that's because everyone needs a hug after dealing with the stuff they've gone through for the past God knows how long. But, here comes Majorkill. Line is back, baby. I was told to watch this. You guys demanded it. Here it is.
G'day guys and gal, what can I say other than I called it! The Lion is back, baby! Yes! 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 Get this shit off me! Get this shit off me! Should I clip this to my balls?
Okay, Tyler.
A lot of people say that Valrak called it. He knew before everyone else did, and he stuck true to his prediction.
Why is he naked?
I called it before Valrak. He was just loud as shit about it.
Why
I'm
is
pretty
he
sure
naked?
I promised in a video that I would castrate myself if the Lion wasn't the next loyalist Primarch to return, and that was 2 years ago. I've maintained that prediction with 100% certainty since then. Either way, never doubt me or Valrak again. But what does this mean? What are the lore implications? Well, there has literally just been a community post that doesn't go into much detail, other than the fact that the Lion is awake, decked out in new gear, and leading at least the Dark Angels chapter, and he is going to square off against Angron, and probably also Vashtor. It makes sense. Chaos is getting so many dubs right now, and Guilliman can't be everywhere at once.
Right.
So getting such a god tier Primarch to come back and halt Angron's rampage is very appropriate. Some quick details we can see is that he isn't wielding the Lion Sword, but instead a new sword called Fealty, alongside the Emperor's
I noticed that. I noticed the Emperor's shield. I see the Watchers. What I don't understand is why he looks like the Onion Knight from Game of Thrones.
shield. These are obviously Primarch weapons, but it's unclear where he got them from, and since he doesn't have the Lion Sword, there's a good chance that Cypher was not directly involved in his awakening. I predict that after or during the clapping of Angron and Chaos, the Lion will encounter Luther and the Fallen, absorbing them into a rebuilt Dark Angel Legion, which will become a galactic powerhouse and challenge Guilliman's rule over the galaxy. That's as far as I'm predicting. I'm very keen to check out what happens. Now, as for the actual model, what are my thoughts? Is it as cool as I hoped? Well, let's compare it to his old Horus Heresy model, as well as LJ Co's rendition of a modern lion. First off, he looks quite aged. His hairline has receded, his face is more deeply wrinkled, and he has a bigger mo. He actually looks a lot like Tywin Lannister. The face is more detailed and well made, however, I do prefer the younger lion face. Fortunately, I don't really give a shit about faces because I always pick the helmet option on my models, and yep, the new helmet, especially the winged one, is superior. Nice big
I like the third one over. I like this one. That's my favorite right now.
juicy eye lenses, epic wings, all round just awesome. His new pose and gear is also a lot cooler. I don't think I've ever seen another Primarch use a shield before, and the way he is marching forward, full of purpose and nobility, is dope. It also means he's probably a bit easier to paint. I also prefer his new armor. It's more knightly, and the decorations on it are more badass. So overall, fuck yes, this is awesome. I'm actually getting a little bit emotional. I've been waiting for this day for years, and now it's finally here, and I'm actually not let down. Literally, other than his face, which doesn't matter because helmet, it is an upgrade from his old model. Compared to LJ Co's artwork, it's actually quite similar, especially if you were to recolor them both to match. Both
very true.
Have line iconography, both are knightly. I prefer the darker style of the model's armor, as he wasn't in a coma when the Dark Angels changed to dark green.
I do prefer that. I do prefer that. I have my own thoughts. As soon as this video is over, I'm going to be talking about my own thoughts about what the Lion's return could mean. I have a good scenario. I have a bad scenario.
Although I reckon LJ did a great rendition and prediction, which was actually closer to the newer model style than the old model. So great shit right
Why
there.
are you
It is
naked?
such an awesome time to be a Warhammer fan, bringing back the glory days of epic galaxy-shaking battles, Primarch vs Primarch, while still leaving plenty of room for non-Primarch heroes to make their mark. I'll be keeping a close eye on the Lion's lore, and you can expect more videos on the topic as more info comes out. Probably not as many as Valrak, that man is a demon, but a healthy amount. I actually really want to know who called the Lion coming back first, out of me and Valrak. If someone can find the video where I said I'd do a nudie run or cut my own dick off if I was wrong, then I'll give you $50. $100 if you find that, as well as the first video where Valrak makes his prediction. I'm just really curious to who called it first. Cheers for watching. Peace.
Okay. Okay. So, there's two real options here for me, as far as good scenario, bad scenario. One, the Lion comes back and pisses on the Codex, reunifies the Dark Angels Legion, brings all the successor chapters together. They would do that. And then joins Gilliman with a unified force of Dark Angels, basically an army to basically fight back the darkness. Then we have the bad part, which either the Lion or Gilliman find some reason to literally pit fight for no reason, which only hurts everything. In my view, I've often talked about the what the Emperor was, and the mental state, all this other kind of stuff. I've talked about that at length for at least hours at a time. But my main view of this is that in order for the Imperium to become whole again, there are three Primarchs that it needs to have. It needs to have Gilliman the Administrator. It needs to have Johnson the General. It needs to have Rogel Dorn the Fortifier. It needs to have those three. Now, Vulcan, the heart of the Imperium, even though I fully anticipate he's going to be the great prophet of the Wa in truth, considering how he went out. Korax is not going to be that great unifier. No way, shape, or form. And Leman Russ, if he hasn't learned some humility in the last 10,000 years, is really going to annoy the living hell out of me. Because the last time I saw Russ, he was being an annoying little shit. That all being said, guys, well, Majorkill was excited. Thankfully, if he was that excited it was off screen, I don't know why he's naked. I really don't know why he was naked. But in any case, guys, check out Majorkill's channel if you haven't already. And, yeah, leave a comment on this video. And, as far as this color scheme, okay, let me get back into it. As far as the color scheme, I like the fact that the Lion is not... I would love to see if he adopts the darker tones of his sons now. Or if he pretty much is like, stop dressing like this. You know, lighten up, guys. Figuratively and literally. I also want to see what happens when he finds out that they are freaking out over the Fallen. Because the fact that certain elements of legions went traitor, I mean, in the loyalist legions and some traitor legions who had loyalists, these were not rare occurrences. In fact, the Khan's legion had an almost outright civil war right before he showed back up, and the fact that the Lion had traitors in their midst, that's not a big surprise. I think the only ones that didn't were the Salamanders, the Raven Guard, the Ultra Smurf. No, didn't the Ultramarines have some that turned? I'm trying to remember. No, I think the Ultramarines had members that turned. In any case, it was not an uncommon thing for when the Horus Heresy broke out, people not knowing where the lines are going to be drawn. So, for the Dark Angels to make this the central feature of their chapter and be worried more about somebody finding out about the Fallen and less about how they were actually doing their stuff, that's going to piss the Lion off to no end, in my estimation. He's going to get them back to their roots as Knights of the Imperium, because that's what they initially were. They were all supposed to be knights. And he's going to get them back to that. I fully believe. I don't think he's going to go apeshit over the Fallen. I really just don't. In any case, wrapping it up there. Guys, leave a like and a comment if you will. And check out all the links below. I am done. If you'd like to support the channel, I have a Patreon below. The Lion's back. What's going to happen when he meets Luther? That's the big question. Because we know the Lion doesn't have a problem with warp shenanigans. Or at least you should know.